Hi. My name is Kyle, and I have a bit of a confession to make, so I hope you guys are kind. Yeah. See, I'm a recovering anthropologist. Yeah, I know. Yeah. And not just any kind of anthropology. You know, I was a bona fide physical anthropologist, which basically means that for the better part of my adult life, I deliberately avoided live people and surrounded myself with bones. Yeah, human bones, fossil bones. Yeah. Because mostly, they don't judge. Unlike some of the senior researchers I know. Now, you see, I've started really young. As an undergraduate in the US, I worked for a few years at the American Museum of Natural History in New York City. Thank you. And I mostly got the chance to, cart around boxes and boxes of skulls between the halls in order to digitize them. So that means, for you guys that aren't hip enough out there, it means that I got to 3D scan them so that the museum had a permanent collection of these bones. And also, I got to type up thousands and thousands of catalog information that basically all said, collected in museum expedition. Which, in the 1800s, 1900s, it sounds really cool, until you realize that, well, because it's in the 1800s, if you have fancy trousers, a cowboy hat, and landed on an island, instead of putting down a flag, you could point at something and say, that belongs in a museum. And it's not stealing. Yeah. But working in museum collections, you get to hear a lot of things and you learn a lot of things. And one of the things that I really enjoy hearing about are the things that physical anthropologists get really riled up about and excited about. Because there's nothing quite as entertaining as distinguished researchers with Wikipedia pages get all yo mama about each other's research. That's right. Your research is so whack, it failed to verify the motherfucking hypothesis. Citation John Oliver and Todd Hotel. You're welcome. Now, one of these hypotheses is called the Obstetrical Dilemma. Now, does anyone know what that means? Any guesses? Obstetrics, meaning having to do with pregnancy, birthing, postpartum, dilemma, conundrum, predicament, Sophie's choice. Yeah, the ladies are nodding their heads. Yeah, right? Any guesses what this is actually about? Well, it's about a hypothesis that's related to an evolutionary choice by our female ancestors, where they had to basically figure out what the perfect hips were. That's right, because we had to choose, women. We had to choose. Is it going to be walking efficiently like men with their swagger? Or giving birth? Yeah, giving birth to bigger-brained, smarter babies that will eventually go on to have civilizations and, make your iPads. That's right. Now, just to give you guys an idea of what this actually means for researchers, I have a quote here from a book by Marlene Zook in 2013 called Paleo Fantasy. No, stop laughing. It's not an erotic novel. Here we go. Quote, "You can't give birth to large-brained infants and also walk on two legs trouble-free. No matter how hard you try." Any women in the room who've given birth naturally? Yeah?
Yeah.
Anyone who's come out of a vulva and birth canal naturally when they were babies? Yeah. Yeah. Did your mothers manage to walk afterwards? Yeah. studies by a man, obs, and physical anthropologists have been bickering about this for the last 50 years. Basically trying to figure out what the perfect hips were for our female ancestors. So nice that they cared. Now, there's not enough hard evidence out there because unfortunately fossil bones can't just speak up and say, mate, you're overthinking it. Okay? Now, there is some factual stuff behind this. I mean, there is a limit to how large baby brains can be in order to pass through the birth canal. Now, if they're tiny and wee and, premature, not a problem. Some women don't even notice they're pregnant. And, according to the Daily Mail, you might go for a poo and not realize you've had a baby. Citation there, yeah? No, okay, but really, big baby brains can be a problem for women's hips because there is a limit to how large their brains can be in order to pass through the birth canal. But then there's also the fact that they can't stay in there for that long. It's not a hotel that you stay in forever. I mean, it's a good hotel, just saying. Yeah, you get free food, they take care of your poo and stuff, it's fine. But see, the nice thing is that baby skulls are really resilient for you women who may be planning to have children in the future. Okay, because our bones, when we're born, they're really made up of different parts of bones, and when we're older, they fuse up. Okay, and when we're younger and we've just been born, we actually have a hole at the top of the head, which is why people say you should be careful touching babies' heads. And I know this because I verified it. I poked a baby's head once and it's squidgy. And I'm no longer allowed to babysit. Alright, the obstetrical dilemma. Men, you have no idea. Alright? You guys have it pretty sweet because you don't have to worry about birthing and the evolutionary effect it has on your swagger. Okay? So, just saying, next time you're out there, say hello to your mother for me. Thank you.